Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with Jeff Grant, SBR contributor, and today we're going to be looking at that college football game between Ole Miss Rebels and the Vanderbilt Commodores. But first off, how you doing this morning, Jeff?
Doing great, Dax. This is a team that seems to, this is a matchup featuring two teams that really had two different performances in week one. It will be interesting to see what the line move does in week two and how sports bettors treat it.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Now, the Rebels, they're actually playing back-to-back games away from home to open their season for the first time since 2005. So, Jeff, now taking that into account, what do you expect from Ole Miss in this spot?
You know, it's normally a situation that you'd look to play against the team, but I think they're actually going to perform at a higher level than they did in week one. Their week one game was on a Thursday, so they have extra time to prepare. It was against a solid opponent in the Boise State Broncos at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Now they don't have to travel too far. Nashville, Tennessee is not that far of a distance from Oxford, Mississippi, so I don't think it's going to have much of an effect on the Rebels.
Man, Vandy's first game under head coach, Derek Mason, was truly a disaster. Now, do you think that Vanderbilt will be able to muster up a better effort in week two?
I don't know if that's going to happen. There is so many things that went wrong in that game that I couldn't even possibly cover them in a 30-minute segment, but I'll break it down in about a minute.
All right.
This team turned the ball over 7 times. This was Mason's first experience as a head coach. He was previously the defensive coordinator at Stanford. He made the decision to go with a quarterback, and he was expecting to go with that quarterback throughout that game. He had to pull him because of the amount of turnovers that the Commodores had in that game against Temple. How bad of a loss is that? 37-7, an SEC team against Temple, about as bad a loss as there was in week one in recent memory. And I'm just not sure if the Commodores are going to pull it all together against one of the teams in the SEC that could challenge the likes of Bama and LSU for the title.
No doubt, man. And we all know that Ole Miss hasn't had troubles moving the pigskin in the last games played against the Commodores. So could handicappers actually expect to see some of that same thing coming up for this year's matchup?
Absolutely. I think the Rebels are going to be able to move the football early and often, score at will against Vanderbilt's defense, a defense that lost a lot of talent. And Mason made his name as a defensive coordinator, like I mentioned at Stanford. But he is experiencing trouble on all fronts, and he can't put that time in on the defensive end when the whole team is a mess. So I expect Ole Miss in their third year under Hugh Freeze to continue to move the football in this matchup, and I think that's going to lead to a cover.
So I'm guessing you're just going to lean with Ole Miss in this case, right?
Yeah, I don't like to overreact. It may be a bit of an overreaction. In yesterday's videos, I did mention that week two is the most dangerous week to really look at week one performances into week two, and it's the most dangerous week, in my opinion, in wagering on the entire 2014 season. So I definitely proceed with caution, but I just don't see anything getting in Ole Miss's way of not winning this game by 21 to 24 points. That may not be a big enough margin in terms of the point spread for sports bettors to get involved, but I just simply can't take the points in this situation.
All right, my man, good stuff, and I hope you're right. And can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
For SportsbookReview.com, this is Dax Void.